Good morning.
Beat me to the door. Morning.
Cameron introduced his resolution on the floor this morning.
I didn't know that.
House Resolution 973.
It's a beautiful house.
Banning gays in the military.
I've been on a plane all night.
He introduced it on the floor this morning.
Seriously, studio chairman. Nice work if you can get it. Huh?
Josh, let's not talk about my house.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about?
Ted, I checked into my hotel 15 minutes ago. What'd you hold my ass out here
I
for?
think you want to watch your general tone with me. I'm sending you home tomorrow with $2.5 million. What do I want to talk about?
Cameron's bill is a joke.
Not to me.
It's the house. It's procedure. You know how many bills get introduced every day that never get a hearing, let alone a vote?
That's it?
Yeah.
You came to me with that?
I came to you because you told me to. Now I got a cab waiting outside, so
Yeah, you're right.
don't worry about it.
I'm being silly.
You're worried about nothing. We'll see you later. President's looking forward to it.
Excellent. Fellas, you can pack it up. The party's off.
Ted. Ted.
Everybody, Carmine, I'm sorry it's not going to happen.
The food and the flowers?
Give them out to the guys.
You're a rotten bluffer, Ted.
You're right. That's why I never do it.
You're not going to cancel the fundraiser.
Well, in fact, I already did.
This is the president.
The president's going to be eating room service tonight.
Ted.
You got a cab waiting.
That was abrupt, and I apologize.
Your apologies accepted.
You can't cancel the fundraiser.
Yet witness the loading of the trucks.
I'm not gonna, look, this is ridiculous. You're gonna be a joke to our people.
Disrespected by the Democratic Party, whatever will I do?
Ted.
Particularly with my $3 billion.
Ted, no one is gonna pass a bill banning gays in the military. If the House ever passed such a bill, and the Senate ever passed such a bill, the president would never sign such a bill.
Fantastic.
Okay?
Fantabulous.
So you won't flake on me?
We're fine.
Party's on.
You bet.
Good.
As soon as I hear the president say what you just said,
Look,
give him a call and ask him to tell me what time I should be tuned to my television set to hear him say what you just said.
that's not gonna happen, and you know it.
Then we got ourselves a problem. Don't screw around with me, Josh. I've been president a lot longer than he has.
Leo,
Yeah,
the vice president.
thank you.
Morning, Leo.
Morning, Mr. Vice President.
Still 50-50, huh?
That's the way it's gonna stay.
Sam talked to Huntington.
He talked to Huntington, he talked to Gianelli, he talked to Callie and Martinson and Rathburn.
Recently?
This morning, nobody's moving.
It kind of looked like it was going to turn out this way.
Not to me. I was surprised.
Well, I was in the Senate with 94 of these guys.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the president needs you to go down there and fulfill one of your two constitutional responsibilities and vote for the ethanol tax credit. We need you to break the tie. He also asked me to tell you that he regrets putting you in this position.
You got to get me off the hook, Leo. You can't ask me to do this.
John, I know exactly how you feel.
No, Leo, I don't think you do.
I know.
I spent 8 years in the Senate voting against this tax credit. I was right, by the way, and I'm still right, but the point is...
16,000 new jobs. $4 billion invested in plant and equipment
point-
because the tax credit made it economical.
Leo, the ethanol tax credit has accomplished exactly none of its goals. Production is next to nothing. It will never be large enough to reduce our dependence on foreign oil, and it requires substantial energy to produce, which totally washes out any overall conservation effect.
John,
but that's not the point.
What's the point?
The Republicans will make me eat it for dinner when my time comes, and you know that. So let's get serious.
I thought he did well. I'd like to have seen more of those seats filled.
That's not what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
He's talking about the governor's answer tonight. I'm just guessing. I'm pretty drunk.
I am talking about the governor's answer tonight. But I'm also talking about every day there's some... Look, Toby, we can talk about this with you in the room, or if you're more comfortable, we can...
Listen, I don't have time to make people comfortable. If a change has to be made, it has to be made. Jerry, Cal, Max, Steve, you're fired.
What?
What?
No kidding. It's moving day. I want Toby. The rest of you, thanks very much. Fellas, look at my face. You're done. Don't screw up. It's freezing cold in October. I don't know how you people live here.
Did you just fire Cal Memphis?
Yeah.
You fired him.
Yeah, and Jerry and Mac and Steve and the other guy.
Is there anyone you kept?
I kept Toby Ziegler.
Oh, you kept Toby Ziegler and you fired everybody else.
Yeah.
Toby Ziegler is the only person working for us I don't know, and he's the one you kept.
Take him home, would you?
Those were the only people I knew.
Those people were worthless. It's time we bring in what we need.
So you made that decision on your own?
Yeah. You know why? Because you're a crappy politician. I think you'll find I'll be making a lot of decisions on my own, so start getting used to it.
You know, I got elected to Congress by this state. This state sent me to Congress 3 times and then elected me governor, all without your help. Don't start.
No, seriously, that's a real political accomplishment considering your family founded this state.
Hey.
Were you even opposed in any of those elections?
You got rid of all the people I know.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Why are you doing this? You're a player. You're bigger in the party than I am. Hoynes would make you national chairman. Leo, tell me this isn't one of the 12 steps.
That's what it is. Right after admitting that we're powerless over alcohol and that a higher power can restore us to sanity. That's where you come in.
Leo.
Because I'm tired of it year after year after year after year, having to choose between the lesser of who cares, of trying to get myself excited about a candidate who can speak in complete sentences, of setting the bar so low, I can hardly look at it. They say a good man can't get elected president. I don't believe that, do you?
You think I'm that man?
Yes.
Doesn't it matter that I'm not as sure?
Ah. Act as if ye have faith, and faith shall be given to you. Put another way, fake it till you make it. You did good tonight.
Yeah.
This is the time of Jed Bartlet, old friend. You're gonna open your mouth and lift houses off the ground. Whole houses. Clear off.
Kill them all. Yeah.
All the Islamic extremists.
No, I mean everyone. You're all bothering me. I want to be left alone. Clearly, the only way that's going to happen is to be alone, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to let you all go. Except the Yankees and the Knicks. The Yankees and the Knicks are going to need someone to play, so keep the Red Sox and the Lakers, and the Laker girls, and the Palm, and we'll need to keep the people who work at the Palm. That's it, though. The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Knicks, the Lakers, the Laker girls, and anyone who works at the Palm. Sports, Laker girls, and well-prepared steak. That's all I need. Sometimes I like to mix it up with Italian. And Chinese. All right, you can all stay, but don't bug me. You're on probation. Don't forget, I was this close to banishing you.
This is Toby Ziegler, and actually, he's in charge of crafting our message to the public.
And today, that message is...
Don't bug me.
That's right.
Nice beard.
My choice, sister. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with a religion whose laws say a man's got to wear a beard to cover his head or wear a collar. It's when violation of these laws become a crime against the state, not your parents, that we're talking about lack of choice. Islamic extremist is to Islamic as KKK is to Christianity. That's about right. That's a good religious analogy. What's a political analogy? What's an analogy using governments?
They don't have a government. They have the Taliban. They have the government of Afghanistan.
Taliban isn't the recognized government of Afghanistan. The Taliban took over the recognized government of Afghanistan. And there's your political analogy.
What do you mean?
When you think of Afghanistan, think of Poland. When you think of the Taliban, think of the Nazis. When you think of the citizens of Afghanistan, think of Jews in concentration camps. A friend of my dad's was at one of the camps. He used to come over to the house, and he and my dad used to shoot some pinochle. He said he once saw a guy at the camp kneeling and praying. He said, "What are you doing?" The guy said, He was thanking God. And my dad's friend said, "What could you possibly be thanking God for?" He said, "I'm thanking God for not making me like them. Bad people can't be recognized on sight. There's no point in trying."
Actually, we already covered that.
It's worth covering twice, don't you agree?
I do.
Yeah.
Pinnacle's a card game?
Yeah, I've changed my mind again. Kill them all.
Laker girls?
No. All right.
What was the first act of terrorism?
What was the first act of terrorism?
I could answer, but I think he's asking you, man.
I know it's not new. I know in the 11th century, I'm gonna have trouble pronouncing this. In the 11th century, secret followers of Al-Hassan ibn al-Sabah, who were taught to believe in nothing and dare all, carried out these very swift and very treacherous murders of fellow Muslims, and they did it in a state of religious ecstasy. As a matter of fact, young men between 12 and 20 were given hashish and smuggled into I really don't know what to call it. They were smuggled into a kind of specially designed pleasure garden complete with concubines. They were told this was paradise and that the master's angels would carry them back if they carried out murders of the master's enemies.
Ah, temptation. I have named thee, and thy name is woman.
This is Sam Seaborn, Deputy Communications Director. Now, don't be frightened when I tell you now that in this room, Sam is the knowledgeable terrorism expert. The good news is that in this government, we have some extremely knowledgeable terrorism experts.
I heard I was needed, I came.
We were talking about am I pronouncing this right? Al-Hassan ibn al-Sabah?
Yeah, from the 11th century.
Yeah.
By the way, the Arabic name for their secret order has survived until today. Can anybody guess what it was, the Arabic name? You know.
Assassins.
Assassins. That's right.
Yeah, we don't call on him.
What's going on?
I'm supposed to be at a meeting at Treasury.
I had a 6 o'clock on the Hill. Now I'm stuck here, you know, talking with well-dressed children who can't vote.
You know a lot about terrorism?
I dabble.
What are you struck by most?
It's 100% failure rate.
Really?
Not only do terrorists always fail at what they're after, they pretty much always succeed in strengthening whatever it is they're against.
Mr. President,
Come in.
I was told you wanted to see me.
Yeah. Don't be a marriage counselor. It pisses me off, okay?
I'm sorry?
You know what I'm talking about.
Sir.
That part of my life doesn't belong to you.
Sir, I was simply putting together what I thought was the best press event. The First Lady is an excellent speaker.
All right. That's all. I'll see you after.
Sir, I think if you get a bump in the polls after today's speech, as we expect you will, I think it'd be a good time for me to resign.
Yeah?
Well, to leave earlier would have been strategically...
Yeah, okay.
Look, the press is...
That's nonsense to me, and I don't care.
Well, you might not
For all
care...
the new jobs we've created, there are single mothers working 2 of them at minimum wage. There are school districts where less than half the students graduate. And a kid born in Harlem is more likely to go to prison than a 4-year college. They're bringing guns to school.
Don't you dare lecture me, Mr. President. Don't you dare do it.
I was never supposed to win. I got in it polling in the single digits. Hoynes had it locked up. I got in it to give some speeches and keep him honest. Then you guys came along, and all of a sudden I got 22% in Iowa, and then South Carolina and Michigan, and then Illinois. It was a mistake benching you for that last press conference.
Excuse me, CJ. They need you.
I need you too.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hi.
He spent 6 years in Congress.
If they don't know what the word means...
What's the word?
Torpor.
It means apathy.
Dullness.
I know what the word means. I'm saying if people don't know what the word means...
They can look it up.
Good morning, Mr. President.
It's not our job to appeal to the lowest common denominator, Doug. It's our job to raise it. If you're going to be the education president, it'd be nice not to hide that you have an education. Bruno, would you mind?
Of being elected governor of his home state.
Churchill and FDR, serious men using big words for big purpose. It occurs to me, I never said I'm sorry. I am. For the lawyers, for the press, for the mess, for the fear. Bruno, Doug, Connie, these guys are good. They want to win, so do we. The only thing we want more is to be right. I wonder if you can't do both. There's a new book, and we're gonna write it. You can win if you run a smart, disciplined campaign. If you studiously say nothing, nothing that causes you trouble, nothing that's a gaffe, nothing that shows you might think the wrong thing, nothing that shows you think. But it just isn't worthy of us, is it, Toby?
No, sir.
It isn't worthy of us, it isn't worthy of America, it isn't worthy of a great nation. We're gonna write a new book, right here, right now, this very moment today.
So, my friends,
Sir?
it is my pleasure and my great fortune to introduce my husband, our friend, New Hampshire's greatest son, and the President of the United States, Josiah Bartlet.
You know what? Break's over.
I want you to get with CJ when you can.
Sure, why?
A lab in the UK is going to let us know in 72 hours if the first U.S. case of mad cow is in Nebraska right now. We got a presumptive positive on,
72 hours.
Yeah,
We should keep it to ourselves.
that's what I think. CJ disagrees, and the president wants to hear more.
Okay.
Thanks.
So paint a picture for me, would you?
We find the source of the problem, which will be the feed. We buy the cattle and slaughter them.
How many?
Tens of thousands.
That's the live cattle. What about the beef?
Well, FSIS will do a Class 1 recall and get it off the shelves. Not that they need to. Nobody's gonna buy beef for a couple of years.
It's a $150 billion industry. What's the West gonna do for a living?
Well, this generation of ranchers is done. They won't get back on their feet.
People have known about this disease. They're still eating beef in record numbers.
That's because it's been on the other side of the ocean. Once we announce a positive, steakhouses are done. Fast food is done.
And then the corn and soybean growers, right?
The dominoes don't end on this.
Any good news?
For fishermen.
So we've got frightened parents, rising food prices, public panic, massive layoffs, and something we've never worried about before. We're wondering when the next case is going to happen. You really want to talk about the lawsuit in Colorado?
Yes, sir.
You hear about the lawyer who opened a chain of dry cleaners? Press your lawsuit while you wait. There was a better joke in there someplace, right?
Probably not. Sir?
Doctrine of sovereign immunity. You can't sue the king. We brought it over from England.
Yeah, but he's not immune from the court of public opinion.
Forgot to bring that one over.
The RNC will have a press conference.
The RNC has a press conference when I sneeze.
I think we need to come out for a strong national seatbelt law.
Congress won't pass it.
I'm not saying we need to have the law. I'm just saying we need to come out for it. It'll end the question of where you stand.
People know where I stand. If they don't know, they can ask me.
You were governor of New Hampshire, sir.
And I was for it then. Never did anything about it because nobody wanted it. And frankly, why waste time and capital?
CJ will get asked about it at the 5 o'clock briefing.
I can't be responsible every time somebody irrationally twists my meaning. People are responsible for themselves. Today's cars are safer than they've ever been. They've all got airbags, they've all got seat belts, and they're all crash tested from here to Tuesday. All that's left is personal behavior and bad luck, and I'm not responsible for either one. And Sam, if Mrs. Lanningham was here right now, she'd say the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I don't blame this woman for suing me. I'm not a king, and I'm not sure the law should treat me like one, though certainly for the moment I don't mind. I'm not blaming her. She's got to go someplace with her grief and her anger. The ones who should be horsewhipped with a horsewhip are the ones exploiting her grief for political gain, and I'm not getting down with those guys.
Yes, sir.
Let Congress pass that law. I'll sign it.
Sir.
Yeah, let's go. Get Leo.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Isn't there a joke to be had with lawsuits and dry cleaners? I've been working on it all day.
You've been working on other stuff, though, too, right?
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay, what do we think? When do you tell the public what you know?
I think it's right now.
And I think it's when you know something. I think absolute confirmation has to be the rule when we're talking about public panic.
Are we sure there's going to be public panic if we're only saying there's a chance? We think maybe, usually it's negative.
I do. Because we're not talking about sushi, it's hamburgers. And I'm not kidding around. It's these things, the everyday things, the everyday American things, the 99-cent things, that when you suddenly have to be afraid of them, strike at the center of our equilibrium.
I'll tell you what else. Democrats, not exactly loved by the beef industry to begin with, are going to get killed for causing false panic.
Yeah, what we say now is going to be measured against the facts, the consequences of which will be far worse if we don't say anything and it goes the other way.
I disagree.
Then pretend for a moment the cow has MS.
No, I don't think I will.
Something going on with them?
I think they can hear you. They're standing right in front of you.
That was a bad analogy. I apologize. What I meant was that the public will not forgive a president who withheld information that could have helped them or saved lives. Second, in a crisis, people need to feel like soldiers, not victims. Third, information breeds confidence. Silence breeds fear. That's my argument.
If it comes from the president.
Shouldn't come from the president.
They shouldn't even come from the White House.
It should come from Health and Human Services.
Not the secretary, mid-level.
All right, that's what we'll do then.
You were looking for me?
What'd you want to talk about with the president?
Did I forget the secret password? We talked about my giving up communications, leaving it to Will and focusing on big picture.
This is not the time.
When will it be the time? Message of the day, top of the news hour. Second term, and we're acting like a losing campaign.
You're not going in there to lecture.
Stop protecting him.
It's my job to protect him. It's your job to get us back on message.
Will can do it. I'll supervise him.
You supervise him now.
What does that matter?
It matters because I need you doing what you're doing now. I'm holding this together with Scotch tape and baling wire.
We have an economic policy held together with Scotch tape and baling wire. FDR built the middle class in 100 days. How many days do we even have left?
49%. We can't start another New Deal.
How about fighting for the old one? Instead of haggling with Republicans over how much to cut? We created 9 million jobs. Now they're disappearing. Outsourcing, downsizing, buyouts. They built TVs in Mexico for $1 a day on dirt floors with cardboard walls.
And that's our fault.
It's on our watch, Leo. Where's our 100 days? Where's our great society? Where's our new frontier? Somebody's got to do what we came here to do. Those jobs aren't coming back. We lose or cave every battle we have with Congress, and we have a calendar, not a plan.
Will's going to work for the vice president.
I'm asking the president not to let him.
He told Russell he could have him. It's done. You got a problem with your job?
I could use one of those ergonomic chairs.
Never mind.
We both going to the ONDCP briefing?
No, we're going in here.
Gee, Toby, people are going to talk.
I'm curious. It wouldn't be for the obvious reason, would it?
What's the obvious reason?
You're a conservative. Maybe you'd love to see him stay on the bench. A liberal icon reduced to a quivering mass of octogenarian confusion.
Hold on.
Hanging on till he can be replaced by a paleo-Republican. Constitution's a living document. You stick to it like it's a boilerplate lease.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay.
Every year, he likes to hire a conservative clerk to argue with. And arguing with him helped me clarify the things I believe in. And one of those things is an independent court, above party or interest.
He has memory lapses. Drifts during oral arguments.
He has his good and bad
Associate
days.
justices are already postponing decisions, holding over important cases, going behind his back to assign opinions.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I do. There's no one else left, Joe. He's outlived his wife. His son shot down over Hanoi. It's just his clerks like you.
You can't do anything.
Let's go over there together right now, you and me.
To the hospital?
He'll see you. You tell me he's okay, and I'll call off the vultures.
Hey, Lisa, you catch the night shift?
6 to midnight. Steve's coming in to handle the overnights.
This is Toby Ziegler. Toby, this is Lisa Zimmer, one of the justice's clerks.
Sure, I've seen you on Crossfire. I hope you won't be offended, Mr. Ziegler, but we're keeping it to family only. You know, friends, colleagues.
I just came along to keep Joe company. I saw a coffee cart down the lobby. You want anything?
I'm good.
Lisa, I'll be downstairs when you're done.
So?
I don't know what they've told you, but he always bounces back. Joe. He always does.
Sir? Mr. Chief Justice?
Joe, I gave him the president's regards.
What'd he say? How is he? Was he coherent?
You know why I didn't want it to spread that I used to clerk for him? Because I knew that someday somebody like you would come up to me and ask me to do something like this.
So he's all right?
You guys, you think it's all a game. You're treating the court like it's Tammany Hall gone national.
Your side does it better. Pushing neoconservatives in swaddling clothes, hoping they don't grow a conscience, let alone a meager understanding of jurisprudence.
Maybe we could all do it better. But there is such a thing called judicial independence. A lifetime appointment. He's still alive, so he gets to decide when it's time.
What did he say? Or can he even speak?
He's fine, Toby. He was up, joking. He'll be back in chambers in a couple of days.
And I said no.
Let's be clear, sir. You will be held responsible for shutting down the federal government.
Then shut it down.
Mr. President?
Mr. Speaker.
Here they come. 6 minutes. The meeting lasted 6 minutes. That's good, right? Maybe not.
What happened?
There's no agreement.
How far apart are we?
They're leaving the building.
Without a continuing resolution?
Hafley said the only way he could sell it was with a 3% cut.
We had a deal at 1%. He's bluffing.
We'll never know because the president ended the meeting. Will.
It's only 8:30. We'll get a deal before midnight.
I don't know.
I'm gonna...
I hate November.
No. Christmas came early this year.
So you want to talk about what just happened?
You were there. Make sure Nancy sees me in the morning about the IMETs to Indonesia. I don't want any training Easter coupon. Anything else?
We need a continuing resolution by midnight, or 940,000 federal employees aren't going to show up in the morning.
You give them your shirt and they want your belt.
We gotta get them back in.
Not tonight. Damn, I probably missed the first half.
Sorry?
Providence is gonna get a whooping from my fighting Irish.
Is he coming back?
What do you need?
Toby and Josh are here.
What the hell happened?
Hafley asked for 3%.
Now what?
We shut it down.
So unfair. We're already understaffed.
Yeah.
I've canceled tomorrow's meetings with SBA and the FCC.
You do realize you're not a special assistant.
Thanks for reminding me. How far out do you want me to...
Donna, listen carefully. You have to go home.
Seriously? So when Leo said everybody below special assistant,
He meant you.
That the way to prosperity is through innovation, allowing Americans to create more jobs rather than allowing government to create more bureaucracy. That's what this Congress is trying to fix. Stop the...
Your phones are ringing.
Yeah, Margaret went home.
What's the president doing?
Watching basketball.
Does he have a plan?
I think it was pretty spontaneous.
If it doesn't end now, it'll become a referendum on the Bartlet presidency.
Yeah.
You want me to talk to him?
No, I've got it.
George. Isn't this a bluff? I mean, there's going to be a deal reached by midnight, just like every year, right?
I cannot speak for Congress, but the president will not cut essential services, which is what their CR does.
Isn't it irresponsible of the president to refuse to sign disrupting people's lives and paychecks over 3%?
3% equals more than $1 billion in education funding, clean energy research, highway safety, to name a few. I'll get you exact figures.
The Speaker said this continuing resolution was the express will of both the House and the Senate.
It wasn't the will of the 196 congressmen and the 44 senators who voted against all 14 appropriations bills.
If these services are so vital, why isn't the president still negotiating?
taking stationery, a stapler, 3 pens of various colors, the budget files.
Why don't you just take them on disk?
Because I don't have a computer. Can I take a computer home?
Not unless you want 3 federal agents trailing you home.
Do I get to pick which 3?
I can survive for a day.
Is that all it's gonna last? A day?
Okay, take my laptop. Start a tally of programs affected by the shutdown and email it to me as you go. Don't read anything in the folder marked private. Don't take my laptop.
You coming? War room.
What's happening?
You remember when we went to Atlantic City?
We never went to Atlantic City.
You remember when I went to Atlantic City and I came back complaining that all the pro poker players suck all the fun out of the game? No cigars, no pizza or canned beer.
You played one hand?
Those guys, they bet the bank when they have a good hand. And you either fold or you go in all the way with them. I think the president's gonna stay in.
And how good is Hafley?
He's better than anyone we've seen on the other side of the table in a long time.
You're up to something. You lied to me about it. The president won't say what it is. But you work for me.
I do.
Tell me what you're up to. Tell me why half the caucus thinks we're squeezing gains. Or we have serious problems.
No problems.
There's a reason we have a chain of command. So people don't take flyers and I don't hand you their resignations.
I wanted to believe he could do it. I wanted to believe as much as he did.
This is a never, never land, sir. Believing's not enough.
You would have stopped it.
Because it's my job.
It's my life, Leo. I'm the one who's accountable. Not in the morning papers, not in the Democratic cloakroom, but in 50, 100 years when Tuesday's poll samples have crumbled into dust.
You can't will yourself a legacy.
You think there's a room at the Smithsonian for guys who never even tried?
What do the losers get to do about Social Security except receive it?
The losers can kick up enough dirt to keep the debate going. Maybe my letter will do that.
Make you a martyr?
Make someone else pick up the ball, inch by inch. We're moving the line of compromise.
This isn't Sunday school. It's the world capital of politics. I could have told you Gaines wasn't going to move.
He did. He said he'd move on private accounts.
You got the chairman of the Social Security subcommittee to move on private accounts? It's like inhaling a baby grand.
Yeah. Well, he's out now.
Turner.
What?
Roy Turner.
So you're saying that you'll ask the Democrats to trim benefits over the next 20 years, raise the retirement age over the next 60 years, and give up on this issue forever?
If I can tell them that you'll settle for small optional private accounts on top of Social Security and raise the income limit on Social Security taxes.
We protect FDR's legacy and admit changes have to be made to save it.
What about political cover?
We call off the stunts. The DNC won't use this deal against any Republican who votes for it.
What are the chances this passes the House?
A lot of Republicans would like to end the demagoguery on this issue. They'll be grateful that you approached me with a deal.
Actually, to sell this to Democrats, I have to say you approached me first.
No, that's a deal breaker for me. If it looks like a Democratic setup.
I can't look like a fig leaf for some risky scheme to shred Social Security.
We're saving it, not shredding it.
So you can drive a wedge into private accounts?
So you'd like to see it go into bankruptcy?
Closest we've been to a deal in 20 years. And it breaks down over who he approached first.
If he approached the Republicans, he's a right-wing sellout. If he approached the Democrats, he's a fire-breathing partisan.
Hard enough caving on principle without looking like you're caving on principle.
And we have a little problem called the Wall Street Journal.
We don't take credit.
What?
We don't take credit at all.
It's the only way.
I moved them over to CJ's old office.
Shredder?
Engine's running.
And this is the statement on regional security that you and President Leon will put out at the end of the last day.
The last day shouldn't be about regional security. It should just be about North Korea.
They're only willing to discuss North Korea in the context of other regional issues.
Don't they understand that North Korea is their regional security problem? Fix that, and we saved half the world.
I've made it very clear to them how much you want to talk about
Tell
it.
the Chinese if they talk to me about North Korea, they don't have to talk to me about anything else.
Mr. President, our agenda with China is now as long and complex as it is with any other country in the world.
I know.
To narrow a summit to this one issue.
I know. We can talk about the rest of this stuff on the plane.
Mr. President, I think we should cover as much as we can with the staff here before...
We got 20 hours to kill in the air over the next 2 days.
We got an election coming up, and we're actually saying there's no Democrat who can represent us at the UN?
The president wants Arnold Vinnick.
Was Vinnick your recommendation?
I've known the guy 30 years, and I don't know anyone better for the job.
Sorry, I'm having some trouble imagining Arnie Vinnick as a diplomat.
UN could use some tough love these days. The president wanted to ask him himself, but you don't want to put him alone in the room until we know Vinnick will say yes.
If he plays hard to get, I'm out of there. I'm not begging a Republican.
If he says yes, he won't be investigating us anymore.
We're doing this just to get him off our backs?
No. The president thinks he's the best we can get. I'm just trying to give you your motivation.
I think we're all anxious about the subjects because you're insisting on being alone in the room with the Chinese leaders.
Yeah, you want to be in the room, too?
I do not, but I think CJ and Kate and the secretary...
I don't want to fly all the way to China just to participate in another phony ritual of putting out these joint statements on what we already agreed to before the trip.
After the controversy about the Taiwanese flag, we're lucky they didn't cancel the whole thing.
This is my last China summit. It's my last chance. I want to walk into that room and show the Chinese that they are not dealing with some staff-dependent puppet. I want them to see that I'm ready to get some real work done right there in the room. Progress isn't good enough for me now. I want to get something done.
You like shrimp, don't you?
I love it.
You might be interested to know how much of the shrimp sold in the U.S. actually comes from China.
Nice. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. One of the most difficult trade issues on the agenda this time is shrimp.
Who'd you talk about it with, Toby?
C.J. Craig.
Frost thinks.
I know what Frost thinks about everything. If it rains on a picnic, Frost thinks Al-Qaeda seeded the cloud.
Why do you keep him in the job?
He's a good analyst. Good analysts spend a lot of time being wrong.
Funny, at Defense Intelligence, we like our guys to be right. Different strokes.
Are there Islamic extremists who dream of a new China to Spain caliphate? Sure.
Do we think they're going to start by assassinating the Palestinian chairman and the president of Kazakhstan? I mean, come on.
Margaret, will you call Leo for me?
When you spoke to Greg Brock of the New York Times, you were aware you were speaking on the record?
I'm their White House communications director. I have a rough understanding of the protocol involved when speaking with journalists.
So that would be a yes.
That would be an of course.
And your intention in conveying this information to Greg Brock was that it be published in his newspaper?
Yes.
You were aware this information was classified?
Excuse me?
Answer the question.
You're asking me if I knew that the military space shuttle was classified? One of the most closely held pieces of information I've experienced in my 7.5 years in the White House, which no one would so much as hint at, much less acknowledge, much less ever actually discuss. Which revelation of same caused a governmental security crisis, international consternation, and the launching of 3 separate investigations. You're asking me if I realized it was classified? Yeah, I had a vague inkling.
Were you personally authorized to have this information?
Alana Waterman, Mr. Babish. I'm Mr. Ziegler's attorney, and as such, I must inform counsel that my client will not be answering any further questions.
It's okay, thank you.
No, it's most certainly not okay, and you're not to say anything else.
You know, I'm really getting fed up to here with lawyers ordering me around.
Probably should have considered that before passing state secrets to New York Times reporters. Which brings up, did you leak to anyone other than Greg Brock?
Do not answer that.
No.
If I may have a word in private with my client?
I'll be right outside.
I really appreciate your concern, but I am taking full responsibility, and I am prepared and ready to face the consequences.
Well, that's very noble and very stupid.
Thank you.
You have to listen to me now. If you were truly the only one involved...
I was.
Well, then that's unfortunate, because it means you have no bigger fish to turn over to the prosecutor, which is what he and the Congress will be looking for, and obviously would have been the best and fastest way to make a deal.
I don't care about that.
Well, it's my job to. And we're not starting with a lot of bargaining chips, and we have less every time you open your mouth.
I'm not looking to cut a deal.
Oh, really? Well, because the last time I checked, the sentencing guidelines, even for somebody who's a first-time offender, were 63 to 78 months jail
63
time.
to 78. How do they come up with those numbers? Pick out of a hat? Dartboard?
You have an obligation you're
Please
not
don't bring up my
considering here.
kids.
When you hire someone like me, you take on a responsibility to my reputation. If you decide you want to go down in some quasi-orgasmic blaze of self-pitying, self-destructive, self-aggrandizing, attempted glory, all anyone's going to say is, how did Alana Waterman, that smart, tough, savvy Washington infighter, let her client do something so crushingly boneheaded moronic as to get himself 6 years in jail? Now you have a decision to make. If you want me to continue as your attorney, when the White House counsel re-enters the room, you either decline to answer any further questions, or you watch me walk not only out of this room, but off the case.
Who was it who first informed you of the existence of a classified military space shuttle?
Declined to answer on the advice of counsel.
Please wait here.
Well, you certainly earned your fee today.
I'm deeply gratified that you decided to heed my guidance.
No, I just meant it was the first time tonight he used the word please.
Mr. President.
We ready to go?
Ambassador Cochran's in the mural room and Ted Mitchell's waiting outside.
Where are we putting LaBelle and his people?
In the Roosevelt room.
He's gonna have a lot of staff with him. Yes, sir. I don't know what any of them do, but there they are. Wherever LaBelle goes, 14, 15 guys.
Mr. President.
I'm gonna take care of this first, and I'll see you across the hall.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Who's in the mural room?
Ken Cochran.
You did it again.
I'm sorry, sir.
When you said the name Cochran, it was like you knew him.
No, sir.
I have a sense about these things.
Yes, sir.
A finely honed sense.
It's failing you at the moment, sir.
Cochran's in the mural room?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you go sit with him and send in Ted Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes, of course. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Ted,
Mr. President.
thank you for coming.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Hey, you're looking good.
Oh, I feel good.
How is Mary?
She's in July.
All right, listen, I have something to do in the next room. Let me just tell you that I need a favor.
Oh, of course, sir.
I need you to hire a guy.
Who, sir?
The former ambassador to Bulgaria,
Who is that, sir?
Ken Cochran.
Well, isn't Ken Cochran the current ambassador to Bulgaria?
Not for long. Look, he's a good man, a smart man. I think he'd make a very good corporate officer.
Why is he being fired, sir?
Gross incompetence. I'll be right back.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Nancy.
Senator Lobel's in the Roosevelt room.
Yeah, I'll be right in.
Mr. President.
Ken.
It's good to see you again, sir.
Thank you for flying in on such short notice.
Of course, Mr. President. What can I do for you?
Resign.
Excuse me?
You've been having an affair with the daughter of the Prime Minister, and that doesn't work for me. But neither does a newspaper article saying you're having an affair with the daughter of the Prime Minister, so I need you to resign. You're going to get a job offer from Ted Mitchell for a lot more money than you're making now. That's why you left the embassy. I'll be back in a minute.
Well, this is outrageous. This is outrageous, and I'll explain that to him when he comes back in here.
Yes, sir.
Have we met?
Sir?
You look very familiar to me. Have we met?
Yes, sir.
Where?
I was a waiter at the Gramercy Club.
Charlie?
Yes, sir.
Charlie?
Yes, sir.
It's good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
Under strange circumstances, which, when the president comes back, I'll explain
Yes,
that to
sir.
him. I resigned my membership in that club, by the way.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. I find exclusive clubs to be repugnant.
I couldn't help but notice it didn't stop you from joining up in the first place.
Now, that's out of line. That's out of line, and that shouldn't have been said. And you've forgotten that you're addressing a U.S. ambassador.
I apologize, sir.
I'm sorry to do this, but I'd like to speak to your supervisor.
Well, I'm personal aide to the president, so my supervisor's a little busy right now looking for a back door to this place to shove you out of. But I'll let him know you'd like to lodge a complaint.
Thanks for waiting.
Mr. President, clearly, this young man who works for you has told you something about our past, and I'd like to say here and
It
now...
doesn't have anything to do with it. Oh, wait a second. You two have a past?
Sir.
You mocked my finely honed sense.
Yes, sir.
You stood there in my face,
Sir.
and it's done, Ken. Ted Mitchell's going to put you on the board of directors. And please remember that I have a lot of affection for your wife, and I would hate to see her be made a fool of.
I think it would be appropriate at this time, Mr. President, to make a confession.
What's that?
I never voted for you.
Well, thanks for trying, but here I am anyway. Gotta go.
I don't like the guy. I'm voting against him. What doesn't make sense?
You're embarrassing the president.
He's got a margin of 533 votes. Must have a pretty low threshold of embarrassment.
It's grandstanding, Congressman. It's a cheap and easy way to get your name in the paper, only it's
gonna make you look eccentric, like some kind of goofball crank.
I beg your pardon?
You're not embarrassing the president. You're embarrassing yourself.
Look.
You want the president's backing for anything you might actually want to accomplish this term, as opposed to pulling pointless little publicity stunts. You'll swallow hard whatever petty animus you bear toward the guy about to be the #2 man in your party, and you will give your president what he wants. A unanimous confirmation.
My petty animus is that Russell's not good enough, which is exactly what you've been saying to each other around here ever since his name was announced. You think I don't know how you got rolled on Berry Hill? Or forced to settle for this party hack? You've put someone second-rate next in line to a president with a serious health problem. You want to talk about embarrassment? Be embarrassed about that.
The North Koreans have canceled the pool spray at the sound check.
Okay.
He doesn't like people around when he's rehearsing.
Sorry.
Talk to Thiel.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a plan B.
The VP intro is finished?
Will's doing last touches.
Help him out, will you?
He's got it handled.
He was having some trouble. Look it over, punch it up.
Yes, sir.
Sir, something happened today at the briefing. I got questions about the economy, and I felt like I was tap dancing.
Saw it. I thought you were fine.
Deft. Extremely deft.
As much as I appreciate your attempt to compliment me out of my point, I'm starting to feel a little self-conscious about our lack of vocabulary to describe the economy.
Didn't you get the bagel memo?
You could argue the president's got a responsibility to do it. Setting a positive tone conceivably helps bring about positive results.
It's not that I want to don a shroud. I just think the Pollyanna Act's not wearing well. Sir, I'm worried that at some point, avoidance starts to look like maybe we just haven't noticed. We run the risk of appearing out of touch, like one of those presidents who doesn't know the price of milk. Sir, do you know the price of milk?
Not precisely.
Neither do I. Do any of us?
Okay, let's get on coming up with a language plan for talking more realistically about the economy. That session this morning with the advisors, everybody's got a magic lever they want you to push. I've studied economics all my life, but in this job, only a fool is ever certain. You don't push any one lever. You want to push a little on them all.
From every theory in moderation.
Exactly. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Hey, Mr. President.
CJ. These negotiations are the real thing. I can't allow this defection. I know you disagree, but that's my decision.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's not that I disagree, sir. I'm disappointed.
We'll get someone from state to tell the kid.
No. I'll do it.
Sorry.
It's my call. I tell him. She okay?
I don't know.